Jokul and Riala, you're standing in a clearing, and ahead of you, about 30 feet away, is a small hut made of sticks and mud. And the roof, at this point in time, has been overgrown with moss. You can see through the shutters of the window that there is firelight inside, and you can see smoke pluming up through the center of the roof. When you get closer to the door, you can smell porridge heavy on the damp night air. Jokul, you and Riala have spent the day traveling in the hopes of finding this hut. It has been nigh on 50 years since you were last here, and yet nothing has changed. In fact, nothing has improved either. You feel like you were reliving that day long ago. What do you do?
Jokul will dismount from Maeve and approach the hut with caution. I mean, the man is a wizard, and he will rap his knuckles against the door and attempt to get the attention of its resident.
You can hear grumbling on the inside, and pots that were once clanking no longer making any noise. As the door opens, a very old man with a very neat beard, nicely braided and well kept and clean, intertwined with beads and gold circlets, take a step back. Oh, it's you. Well, it's been years since I've seen you. Oh, well, what can I do for you?
Jokul will smile and say, "Hello, old timer. I have need of that favor you promised me."
Oh, yes, I was wondering when you were going to come back for that. In fact, I thought I would be dead before you came looking for me. Well, why don't you come in for a few moments? I've got to get some. Well, I don't even know what I need. Why don't you just come in and we can talk, please?
May my companion join us? And he'll gesture over his shoulder to Riala and Maeve.
He looks past you and the beast will have to wait outside. You can lead her out the back and she can find something to eat. But your other companion can come in. There's not much room to sit, but there is something.
Jokul will nod his thanks and he'll retreat to Riala and Maeve and inform her of who this strange old man is. And walking Riala to the door, he'll take Maeve around back.
Once you get inside the hut, you'll notice that there isn't a lot of room. It's not a very big hut. There is a small cot. There is a chair by the fire pit in the center of the room, and a large wooden chest, essentially for storage. On the fireplace is a large cast iron pot bubbling with porridge. As you come in, he waves to the cot and the chair and closes the door. He reaches for the bowl that was next to the chair and says, I only have 2 of these. Are either of you interested in supper?
I'm fine at the moment.
He turns and kind of cocks his head at Riala. My lady.
I'm okay for right now.
All right. Puts the bowl down back on the floor, the dirt floor, and looks at you, Jokul, and says, well, my friend, what can I do for you?
Years ago, when I last encountered you, you promised a favor in exchange for the information I could tell you about the Shadowfell where I grew up. I've come calling that favor. Me and my companion here need to disappear.
He steeples his fingers, points them to his lips. You need to disappear, do you? And what would the dealer's choice be?
Well, invisibility would be appreciated. We're looking for something a little bit more distant.
Mm, perhaps a new material plane might be the best course of action if you truly want to disappear from this.
Are you capable of such magics?
I'm not the spring chicken I was when you last saw me, Jokul, if I remember your name correctly.
Jokul nods and
Well, yes, I am capable. Um, give me one moment. And he kind of shuffles around the hut to get to his trunk and he whips it open and he starts shuffling through and you see there's clothing and pouches of various sizes being tossed out and you hear aha. He stands up and he holds a giant crystal in his palm and he says, I knew I would use this one day. I knew it. When would you like to leave?
the sooner the better. We've already had multiple encounters with bounty hunters.
Mm. Attracted some bad attention, did you?
That's an understatement.
And in such a short time of being here. All right. Well, if you'll head back outside, go get your horse. We'll get this started. I need to get the appropriate attire on. My current clothing is not appropriate. So just head outside and I'll be out.
Is there anything we can assist with?
No, 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 no. This won't take long.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
As you leave, he shuts the door behind you and you hear a latch snap. You hear more movement in the hut as the wizard changes into the raiments that he is wearing when he returns. Everything is bright gold and navy blues. And he certainly looks like his station as opposed to the beggar that he appeared.
Joko will smile and gesture to his new robes. Those are new.
Oh, you like them, do you? Yes. I've changed what I trade for information.
Good to hear you're doing well for yourself.
All right. Do you have everything you need, or is this all of your belongings?
Joko will glance at Riala just to double check and give a nod for himself.
Yes.
All right. You two stand next to the beast as close as you can get and make sure that you're all touching.
I'll how tall are horses? Can I like reach over and like grab Jokel's hand? Am I tall enough for that?
I'm trying to remember, how tall are you?
5'4".
Yeah, you can.
I think I'm too short.
You can touch, no issue. Even if you're just touching a leg, you're fine.
Whatever. I'm holding Jokel's hand, whichever way that works.
If it really matters, he walks around the horse, so he has the horse under one arm and Riala under the.
Oh, there you go. Oh, great. The game's going to start out. We're talking about whether or not we can touch horses. The wizard turns and closes his eyes tightly, and you see his hands start to weave and twist, and he begins to cast his enchantment. He's mumbling a language that neither of you understand nor have ever heard before. Then suddenly you see a bright flash of white light. Your bodies are nearly weightless. Within seconds, you begin to feel in the pits of your stomachs a pull back into yourselves as if something has grabbed hold of your inner core and is trying to pull you into non-existence. You can hear Maeve neighing in the background. Then you hear a loud pop as the light disappears, and you fall backwards onto the ground with a thud. You can see stars above you, and you can smell wood smoke and something else. Now what?
Joko will sit up and just be like, I'm glad I did not eat that stew.
Does everything... What does it look different? You don't see the hut anymore?
Are you still laying down or have you set up?
I sat up. Stood up.
When you both sit up, you actually see a figure sitting at a fire ahead of you, maybe 20 feet. This figure is something you've never seen before. 8. Why don't you tell the audience?
Okay, sorry about that. 8. It's a figure sitting by a campfire.
Am I the only one that can't hear him?
Can't hear me either.
DM, what time is it?
DM, oh, now I can hear you. Good. All right. It is very late. It is probably about 10 o'clock.
Excellent. So the light from the campfire is the only thing you see illuminating the figure at the fire. They're kind of hunched over, close to the light, and as you look at them, you see that their body is composed of metallic plates that are placed over top of a fibrous sinew that acts as their muscle. The majority of their body, covered in those plates, has a whitish sheen to it, like polished silver. And interspersed there are like ridges of brighter yellows or brassy color that kind of act as edging or almost like rivets on the plates. The firelight kind of gives them an orangey glow right now, just as they're kind of leaned into it. And hearing you kind of land on the ground, the figure stands up and turns quickly. And as they turn and the light hits their back, and all you see is kind of the shadowy figure standing in front of the fire, you see a pair of illuminated violet-colored eyes that shine dimly in the night as they focus in on you. Well, hello there. I didn't hear you coming.
Joko will look around kind of confused just to get his bearings, and hesitantly he'll have his hand like on his weapon, but he doesn't draw it, and he'll just make sure Fiala's there, make sure Maeve, make sure all their gear came with them.
Yep, everything arrived as you had it in before you left. The bags are a little strewn from your landing, but everything.
Hello.
Yes.
Are you out here alone?
Looking around briefly. Well, not at all. It seems that I have company. Who might you be? And where did you come from?
Because I forgot to mention this earlier, Rael and Jokul, if you want to at any point describe what 8 sees, you may.
So 8 would see a petite blonde woman, pale skin, and it looks like there's black veiny tendrils on her face and skin. She has almost white blue eyes, and long, very light blonde hair. And she has a long dark gray dress and simple leather armor. And around her neck is her holy symbol. And she is also in a
In the same vein, 8 sees Jokul. Jokul is a tall, lanky elf for the most part, or so he appears to be. His skin appears off for compared to most elves he might have seen. He's wearing layers of leather that have all seen better days, but they're organized in such a way that it wouldn't hinder his movements for getting on and off a horse. Coiled around his on his waist is what appears to be a whip made out of basically segmented links of chain, and he would have a backpack of random like sleeping bag and generic equipment laying on the grass nearby. Wherever Maeve has landed, Maeve is a tall warhorse, primarily a black warhorse with white socks and like a salt and pepper muzzle. She would be wearing a saddle and basic saddlebags, which may or may not be flipped around depending on how we all landed.
She is actually the only one that managed to land on her feet.
Of course. That sounds right.
The horse makes its dex save.
She killed that dex save. All right. Go ahead.
You've appeared to come out of thin air. Looking around for a moment. I'm not mistaken in that fact, am I?
No. No, we
Joko will look around for the cabin just before confirming that of nope, apparently we did.
So that means it worked?
Something happened, but we aren't where we were, so improvement?
Oh, well, that's good that that's all it takes.
8 starts leaning in closely. His hands, their hands are kind of clasped in front of them. That's it. They're just staring.
It seems rather late to be wearing armor and wandering about by oneself. Are you waiting for something?
No, I'm not waiting for anyone. And while I appreciate your concern, I'm actually not wearing any armor. All I have right now are these kind of flops an arm and a like billowy blue robe just kind of flaps in the open air. I'm just wearing my vestments at the moment.
Do you happen to know a wizard by the name of... And Jokul will use the name of his wizard friend who just teleported.
Malachi.
Thank you. I knew it was started with an M, but I
The
couldn't
tech
find it anywhere.
difficulty flustered me, and I forgot to mention it.
I mean, Malachi was wearing blue and gold. He's wearing blue and gold. Solid.
I can't say I'm familiar with that name. In fact, I'm not certain I've ever met a wizard in my life yet. What do they smell like?
Jokul just kind of pauses and like cocks an eye in confusion at that unusual question.
You can smell them, can't you?
Yes, but one doesn't normally sniff people.
Oh.
Unless you're a horse.
I'm sorry, I wasn't, What is your name, stranger?
Oh, yes. So rude of me. I just walked right over and didn't even check to see if you were okay. Holding out a hand, I offer it out to the damsel on the ground to help her up. My name is 8. And yours?
Riala will stand up and say, my name is Riala.
Riala.
Thank you.
Are you from around here?
Could, you tell us, where we are?
Well, I suppose so. You and your... Looking over at Jokul. Your companion? And what would your friend's name be?
My name's Jokul.
Ah, excellent. Pleased to meet you. Hold on just a moment. And I run over to the fire and start rifling through my own backpack, pull out a scroll case, and pop the lid, and start thumbing through the pages in there, pulling out sheets. And eventually I pull out a little piece of paper and stare at it earnestly. Ah, yes. I have no idea where I am. But I can tell you where I'm going.
That would be...
Well, you see, I've only recently started traveling, and I've heard that there's an amazing festival at a city along the coast. The city, it's called, at least I think it's a city, it's called Saline. Yes, Saline. And the festival is the festival of Arum. And, well, I don't really know what it's for, but I would certainly like to experience the festival at the very least. So, that's where I'm going. And
Go ahead.
No, please.
Is that a map that you are holding?
I hold it out to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll, hold it out and kind of, lean it towards Jokul so that he can see it too.
There's a bunch of crudely drawn flowers on it, and a couple makeshift sketches of some animals and maybe some rock formations that maybe Eight's experienced, but it's not really a map.
It's not.
Joko will lean over and just kind of cock an eyebrow at the doodles and be like, very nice map.
Are you documenting
That's
something?
That's not a map. No, that's those are my notes from today. Yes.
I'll hold it back out for you.
Thank you. And just kind of roll it up and put it back in the scroll case. Yes, I do document things. I'm a bit of a scholar, actually. Actually, how rude of me! How rude of me! Please come have a seat by the fire. It's awfully chilly, I believe. Is it chilly?
It's a little damp. You are much farther north, so it is a little cooler at nighttime, even at this.
Would a history check or like a nature check to identify like our surroundings tell Chokol and Riala anything?
I mean, it'll tell you what plants are around. You can go ahead if you want to try.
Well, I was more thinking like history check the like the names that Eight rattled off, and maybe nature like a constellation in the sky or something.
In this case, no. Everything is completely unfamiliar to you.
Worth asking.
This is one of those times where I'm going to just say there's no roll. Like, if you want to do a nature check to see if you recognize any of the plants, you can do that. But history check.
Plants aren't terribly of interest at the moment.
Yala will look at Joko to see if he feels comfortable enough to take a seat with our new friend.
Joko will shrug. Safer than where we were.
True enough. And we will take a seat with Eight. So, what, why did you start traveling?
Well, I suppose it's the same reason most people do. Because I can. Why do you travel?
Hmm. We sort of fell in with not a good crowd, so needed to get away.
Oh, did you meet bad people?
That's putting.
I don't believe I've ever had the pleasure of meeting a bad person.
Pleasure of. You meet bad people?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You want to meet bad people?
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I'd prefer not to, but I suppose if you have to, you might as well learn something from it.
Interesting. sort, I guess.
You mentioned a city called Saline. The festival. What's the festival for?
You know, it's embarrassing to say, but I'm actually not sure. I was just told that there was a festival when I was traveling through a small village in a hamlet. Back that way. And it just sounded like something I'd like to experience. I didn't ask many questions, just packed up to head out.
We're so sorry to ask you so many questions, but I don't think I've seen what what are
What am I?
mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose first and foremost, I'm a scholar. Secondly, I'm a cook. Thirdly, I I write and I clean. I suppose you could say I'm more of a caretaker than anything else. And you and your friend, I would assume first and foremost you're tumblers?
I don't think either of us are coordinated enough to be that, but I like your answer. First and foremost, I would say that I'm a doctor, a healer.
Joko will likewise kind of pause and be like, "Right. So we're not just saying hi. I'm an elf." He'll pause and be like, "I train for animals."
An animal handler. Astounding. I can't believe. I don't think I've ever met an animal handler before. What do you teach them?
Depends on the animal.
That's fair.
After hearing 8 describe what he was, Riala like seems to just like relax, like she's not as tense, just because it was a very wholesome answer.
Not
so
the
she's-
answer she was expecting.
Yeah.
How late does the group decide to stay up, considering at least 2 of them have been traveling since dawn?
Do the two of you look tired?
Yes. Riala does anyway.
She's gonna look like she's gonna fall over.
Yeah, she's like starting to lean on Joko a little bit. Just
We
like,
might not like actively say it, but we probably look like it.
yeah.
My friends, if you need to take some rest, I can stand guard this evening.
The offer is tempting, but we will assist you in keeping an eye on the camp.
Do you, Joko, did you want to take first watch or second watch?
I'll take second, so I'll take seconds, so you may get your rest.
Okay, I will. So,
Actually, by that logic, he would say he'd take first, so you can sleep longer. I
thought
didn't
he was
think
gonna
that
let
through.
me
I was
go
like,
first, so that's why I'm like not even thinking anything of it.
I imagine he would offer first simply so he could keep an eye on 8 while Riella was sleeping, because newcomer and it's strange metal man who's a scholar.
yeah.
But yeah,
And then
without thinking, Jokel will just kind of whistle for Maeve, have her trot over, and start digging through their backpacks and find like bedroll, that sort of stuff.
yeah, set up camp.
All right, so you're gonna set up camp, and then Riala's gonna go to sleep. Jokel's gonna stay up with the scholar. All right. Jokel, what are you doing while you're on watch?
Jokel would keep his back to the campfire just to maintain his better night vision, but he would be basically keeping a wary eye around the camp since 8 had already selected this spot. He is basically eyeing the perimeter, assessing like, is this a good spot to camp? Where has this scholar decided to pitch camp? Is it a safe spot? So that sort of stuff.
Okay. And then 8, what are you doing while Jokel is wandering and
I am staring and just kind of staring between Jokel, Riala, and the horse. Just sitting, hand under my chin, and fixed gazes the whole time.
watching creepily?
I'm just kind of imagining Jokel like kind of patrolling around the edges of camp, and 8's head is just following him like an owl, just not moving.
Thankfully, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
That would just be disturbing. Just like head does a 360, just like stop that.
All right. So you two are on watch. So we're going to actually, for the audience's enjoyment, take a side shift to movie B. And in the shadows of the forest that surrounds the campfire, we see a woman wandering and watching. Ilya, you can see the glow of the campfire up ahead, but you've kind of kept to the shadows up until now. What are you doing while you were supposed to be out on your hunt this evening?
So I'm kind of like crouched behind a tree, observing, trying to listen in on the conversation, making sure that they're not like bandits or some group with ill intentions. And then deciding whether or not to approach, and realizing that it might be a safe place to camp out for the night.
All right. You're looking for a place to camp that may or may not be close to the visitors?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jokel, why don't you make for me a perception?
Rolled a 19.
Yeah, I see that. You see something moving in the dark shadows beyond the line of the forest. It doesn't move consistently. There's a lot of weave.
He'll note its position and like not make it obvious that he's noticed something there, but warily keep an eye on that section of forest or whatever area.
I'll approach cautiously.
Can you make a stealth check for me?
Natural 20 for a 22.
She's invisible.
Alrighty.
Juggle-
Yeah, she
Juggle's
is
tired.
totally invisible. All right. Well, so Jokul, you see movement and then it just stops. And you don't know what it was. You don't know where it went, but you no longer see any movement in the
He'll carry on as normal, just like must have been hunting something. He doesn't. His first thought would be like, must be a panther. That might not be native here anymore.
It's a Jabberwocky.
I'm just imagining him like scratching his head and going, all right, there's a strange metal man. There's a strange metal something hunting in the forest. I'm just going to walk the other way now.
All right. Ilya, do you still continue to move closer?
After I've like seen that one is like asleep, I'll approach and like announce my presence.
All right, so you're going to step into the clearing and be kind of just on the edge of the firelight. So why don't you describe what Jokul and 8 may see when you step out from the shadows and announce who you are?
So a fairly cleanly dressed elven woman with dark blue tinted skin, pink hair that's braided, blue green eyes, and leather armor. She's got a shield and a spear kind of tucked away for the moment. She's not brandishing her weapons or anything.
And what do you say?
Good evening. I hope that I'm not interrupting anything, but I've been traveling for a while and I was hoping for a safe place to camp for the night. Do you have room for another traveler by your fireside?
Eight's been staring at Riala asleep, just kind of hovering awkwardly at the moment, and just suddenly swivels in place and looks. Oh, another guest. Yes, please. Come have a seat.
Thank
It's
you.
just a night for strange guests to arrive unannounced. How exciting. I walk over close to the new companion who's arrived at the fire. Kinda, how tall are you?
5'3".
Okay, so I'm just a little bit taller than you. So not noticeably taller, but just kind of looking down a little bit. My name is 8. I was told this is the proper way to greet people.
Indeed. My name is Ilya. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. My new friend is sleeping. And that one is pacing. What might you do?
Joko will wave hello.
What do I do?
Do you sleep? Do you pace?
Well, for the moment, I was hoping to rest, yes. If that's all right. Kind of glance over at Jokul since he seems more tense.
His campsite, his rules.
I suppose that's fair. Yes, please, feel free to make yourself comfortable. And don't be shy. There's plenty of open ground for everyone.
Many thanks. And I'll set up my bedroll and tuck myself in.
All right. The rest of Jokel's shift passes without any occasion, and it's time to wake.
The cat is now a rooster. Time to wake up. Meow.
Was that our cat or was that Anders?
It sounded like your Cinna.
Okay. To
It
the
was just
audience, I
perfectly
apologize.
timed.
My Cinna is passed out asleep under my desk.
Oh.
All right. So then I apologize. But yes, perfect timing.
Yeah, so Joko will retreat to their tent and nudge Riala awake and inform her of their nether guests.
Another. Oh, okay. Did
You keep cutting out.
sorry. Is it safe?
It's quite
I
safe.
asked to Jokul. I asked to Jokul.
You hear it through the tent anyways.
She seems like an elf, a native elf. She just kind of strolled out of the forest, so friendly enough. She's asleep over there, so don't think she's going to be much of a threat.
And I'll go and keep watch with 8.
As you walk out of the tent, I'm just hovering awkwardly near the entrance, staring towards the flaps.
Is everything all right?
Yes, everything is perfectly fine. Did you get enough rest?
I do. Thank you. I'm gonna walk around and keep an eye open. It's a little unsettled. I'm gonna go keep watch.
I'll just stay here.
All right.
I'm definitely like keeping an eye on where Jokel's sleeping as I'm like walking.
So you're making the perimeter, but you're like every so often just, okay, the tent's still there. It's not burned down. We're good to go.
It's in the tent. Yeah.
All right. So as you make your perimeter, you notice that. Oh, did you want to say something?
I was going to say we're not making great first impressions, but we're showing incredibly how paranoid we are after being on the.
Well, you did just thud to the ground out of thin air, so I blame you for being a little
That's what I'm going with. But still, like first impressions of these people are weird.
Riala, as you walk the perimeter, like I said, it's just really a very small clearing. All around you are dark woods, and the night sky above is clear and star-filled. You don't see any constellations that you would recognize. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope. I'm just watching, making sure that everyone at camp is safe. Keeping my eyes out open.
Keeping your eyes out. I like it.
That's not what I meant to say. Shit.
All right. So the rest of your shift passes without any incident. But before we start the next leg of our adventure, let's take a quick 5 to 8 minute break so people can stretch their legs, use the bathroom, get. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Let me just get my computer to actually cooperate. Yay, there we go. Technology. All right. So, the three of you that, well, I should say the two of you that are still asleep, awake the next morning. You can hear songbirds among the trees. And Riala and Jokul, when you look up, there is but a single sun burning in the already bright blue sky. A few wispy clouds are in the air. Looks like it's going to be a nice day ahead. 8. Would you have made breakfast since you listed cook as one of your attributes?
Well, I suppose I would. Seeing as there are guests at my campfire, I wouldn't want to be rude, so I suppose I would try and slap something together. So let's see. While everyone was asleep, maybe I could go out and find some eggs.
All right.
Possibly foraging in the tall grass, or maybe up in a tree, one way or the other. If I can't find any eggs, then maybe I'll just dig up some edible plants and mushrooms that are nearby.
Why don't you roll a... That was descriptive, wasn't it?
Roll a horse noise.
Roll an investigation check. If you're going to be searching among tall grasses for potential eggs, why don't you...
Could I perhaps use my knowledge of nature to track down locations?
You may.
That might be
I will allow that.
good to look for. I have rolled a 20.
Oh my god.
Man, there are luck rolls.
We're gonna be out of natural 20s after this. They're gone.
Yep.
If I can use it to make
Bye-bye.
breakfast for my friends, then I am happy.
Worth it.
You are
Wholesome.
able to find 2 eggs among the rushes. And in your other searches, you were able to find a handful of large mushrooms on the damp forest floor, as well as a root vegetable similar to what we would call a carrot in reality. And have at it.
The makings of a balanced breakfast. I will cook the eggs and dice up the mushrooms to make teeny little, I don't know, omelets of sort, sans cheese, and kind of roast up the carrots for the side.
All right. So when Ilya and Riala, when you awake, Joke. See, now the second watch has totally gotten me screwed up.
You too.
For what it's
Joko
worth,
and
he's an
Ilya.
elf, so he would only need to trance. So he'd technically be up by third watch.
Right. Well, actually, yeah, probably Ilya would too. Anyway, everybody is awake. Those of you that were still asleep are waking up to the smell of eggs and for some reason cooking. So it smells like cooking.
Smells wonderful. What have you made?
Good morning, Ilya. I have made eggs and root vegetable and wild mushrooms.
Quite a spread.
I would do nothing less for my new best friends.
Aww.
Would you care for a bite?
That would be lovely. Thank you for your hospitality.
Having just observed this back and forth, Jokul would look between 8 and Ilya and be like, "Do you two know each other?"
Yes, we met last night.
If you were more acquainted, no. This is my first time encountering 8.
That's why I was double checking.
It was late when you came in last night. I'm Riala.
Ilya,
Nice to meet you.
a pleasure.
Are you from around here?
Not from too far away. I heard about a festival. I was hoping to partake in it. And you? Are you traveling from far?
Yes. We haven't been here before. Trying to get sort of learn more about the area since we haven't been here. So, are you perhaps going to Saline?
Yes.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you headed that way as well?
I'll look over at Jokul. It sounds like an interesting place. I think we would like to tackle.
It certainly would be nice to travel with others. In case there's danger along the road.
Agreed. Safety and
All right.
Jokul nods in agreement. Just why not?
Joko's just like, yeah, whatever. You know.
I mean, he's in unknown area, surrounded by random metal man, strange elf, and everybody keeps talking about this festival. Might as well.
yeah.
All right.
You two should also
So-
eat. Breakfast is getting cold.
Aw.
Are you sure? Have you eaten?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, you should help yourself first. And
No, I would prefer if you eat. I cooked this for you, and your companion, and our new friend.
The new best friend.
I really just want to see Riala trick Jokul or 8 into eating, and then we all stare in confusion as he eats something.
we would be
There's
none the
still
wiser.
plenty of time. All right.
Yeah, Riala will. I was going to say make a plate, but I don't know if a plate is a thing.
We have essentials, probably, like a mess kit and generic. It would be
Okay.
like, here's a fancy plate, but it's like, this is a pot that also doubles as a plate. Good enough.
Yeah, basically one for Jokul, hand it over. Okay.
Riala's using the like the pot. Jokul's just holding the lid.
I've done that before. That's valid.
I've done it as camping as well. It works great.
Anyway.
So you eat your breakfast, and it's surprisingly good, considering it was foraged haphazardly from a natural elements. When I'm assuming you pack up camp and get ready to.
Yep.
All right. Once camp has been packed up, you follow 8 and Ilya, and I'm saying this to Jokul and Riala, I apologize. You two follow Ilya and 8, who lead you through the forest to the other side of the trees where there's a road. And from where you are standing, the road can go either left or it can go right. And in front of you, you see a vast open space. You see, in fact, a fresh farm field. There are several rows already plowed, and there are little green seedlings just now popping up through the dirt. Ilya and 8 start to head to the left.
We would follow. Also to the left.
Follow suit.
All right. You travel for the better part of the morning. The field eventually ends and turns into a vast grassy expanse, and the forest just continues on the left. Almost seems to go as far as the eye can see. At first, nobody else is on the road. But then you start to see merchants and small caravans and families. All the groups start to become thicker the longer you're on the road. And by the time midday arrives, you come to the crest of a small hill, and below you, you see a city of whitewashed stone. You can see even from this distance that there is a crowd waiting to get into the city. All those merchants and caravans are headed for this one location. Let's see here. 8 and Ilya, why don't you two make for me a history check?
18.
Oh, come on.
I double my history checks too, by the way. My proficiency, I double it.
You can go into the gear setting and tell it to change it to expertise.
Gotcha. I'll get on that.
Oh my
Well, I don't
gosh.
think he needs, or they need it right now. Apologies. I don't think 8 needs that right now, but
No, but
I'm on fire.
Oh.
I got a 24.
so 8 you would know as a scholar, and Ilya you would know from your many years wandering that the city of Saline actually is built on the very edge of a high. The city is guarded on 3 of its sides by a large whitewashed stone wall, 100 feet high, with only a single gate that comes open from the main road. The rocky cliff and jagged stones that are at its base are awash within the rough sea below, and they act as a natural barrier for the remaining side. As you get closer and closer, as I've said, the crowd has become immense, and even though it is such a large group trying to get into the city, you do notice that the line moves rather quickly. The festival has been going on in Saline for 1,000 years, and by now the guards and the city residents have developed a knack for making sure that everything flows quickly to get the residents that continue, or the amount of visitors that continue to grow each year. When you get in line, it doesn't take long until the group in front of you is actually being checked in, and it will soon be your turn. However, something seems to be amiss. Ahead of you, you see a young person. Tate, it's your turn to tell everyone what they see.
Well, the first thing you'd notice is their hat. It's sort of a wizard's hat, but much larger than you would traditionally think a wizard's hat. The brim is very large, and it's almost a foot tall, and it makes their form actually seem smaller than it actually is. And it's pretty small to begin with. They're very slender and dressed in like sort of simple leathers with several sort of pouches and things on one side, and sort of this overly large sort of peasant tavern sort of shirt that sort of ties in the back but is open, and you kind of see just a hint, and it sort of stands out because it's kind of odd, of this very, very nice material sort of undershirt that is also very open in the back. In fact, you can see the flesh of their back despite the cold. It's sort of wide open and only tied shut, and they're carrying just a wooden stick. They don't seem to have any weapons on them or even like a pack. Just pouches on their side and this stick with some feathers and baubles and things, and then this very, very large hat.
So what we get out of this is that you see a hat and a body attached to it. The guards have this hat and its body detained slightly.
That's not good.
Unlike the rest of the visitors, they seem to be stuck. Most people have only taken a few minutes, given some information to the guards, and then they are allowed to pass through. But the guard that this person is dealing with has become slightly red-faced and has started to stand from their seated position. Look, boy, I'm not going to ask you again. I need a full name. Nobody enters without a full name.
I already told you my name's Tate. That's my full name.
That's not a full name.
Well, do you want me to make something up?
What did the rest of the party do?
The
guard at this point is starting to look like he's going to be getting belligerent.
This is a small person. Yes.
Quite small.
With the hat, they're almost as tall as Jokul, but without the hat, they are shorter than Riala.
I turn to my traveling friends and I say, it appears that small person is in trouble with the guard?
Please just let me pass. I'm sorry, but please.
Look, I don't care if you have to give me a fake name, but you're gonna give me a name, all right? Everyone else, if you've been watching, has been coming here. They gave me a full name. They gave me the reason why they're here, which we all know is the festival, but it's the rules, all right? I don't make the rules. And how long you're going to stay.
I don't know how long I'm going to stay. I told you that already.
Well, you need to give me a date. We have to track all the residents. It's chaos otherwise.
2 days. I guess.
2 days.
Sure, why not?
8.
I would like to break away from the group and rush to the side of this slender, small person and look at the guard, beam at them with a big smile. My eyes light up, literally, and hello, I'm 8. I'm here for the festival.
Look, I'll deal with you in a moment. I gotta deal with this one first.
I turn and look at Tate.
I'm just staring you up and down with just the biggest eyes, which now that you're up close, you can see that he's got sort of gold, sort of darker skin, dark brown almond shape, and short black hair that seems to have been probably cut by himself. It sort of comes right at the top of his shoulders.
Hello.
Hello?
I'm 8. What's your name?
I'm Tate. That's funny. My name's Rhyme.
That is humorous, isn't it? It's a pleasure to meet you, Tate.
You too. 8. That's weird. Look, I'm really sorry, but could you just write down Tate Jones or something? Just, you pick something, just a name you've heard 100 times, and just write that at the end of my name, please.
Roll a persuasion.
Okay. Persuasion. 22.
Oh my god!
Well, considering you had to beat a 1, the guard softens a little bit and puts both hands on the table in front of him and just shakes his head. All right. All right. I'm not going to argue with a child.
I'm not a child. It's fine.
He hovers down over you. This man is over 6 feet tall. He just, Today, you are a child, and I am not arguing with you. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And he turns over to the robot. All right. Name? What are you here for? How long you gonna stay?
I am 8. I'm here for the festival, and I will stay until the festival is done.
I need a last name.
My name is 8.
They're with me. You can just put down the same last name you put down for me for them.
Very well. My name is 8 Jones.
We're the Jones family.
Guard, just, all right, just go. Just, you make any trouble in my city? You make any trouble in my city?
No, we won't.
You're gonna get strung up by your toes, dude.
These
Thank
three
you,
are
sir.
with me as well. They are my friends. This is Riala Jones and Ilya Jones and Jokel Jones and their horse, Horse Jones.
Yes.
The guard at this point, just go. I don't care. Just get out of my sight.
They go quickly.
Come on through.
Jokal smirks, but it just quickly goes through as requested.
Walking next to Tate.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Tate Jones. Yes.
No, that's not actually. I mean, Tate is my name, yes, but Jones. Don't call me Jones, please. That's not a very good last name. I mean, I'm sure it's a great last name for people whose last name is actually Jones, but hi, I'm Tate. Can we start again? And I'm going to sort of hold out a hand for a shake.
Reach out and grab the hand. I am 8.
I'm going to try to give 8 a very... Jones. Okay. I'm going to try to give 8 a very firm handshake. I'm working on that.
I'm impressed.
Yes.
You said your you said your name is Tate. Yes?
Oh, right, there's other people. Yeah, my name's Tate, and I'm just here to see the festival and maybe buy some books. It was very nice to meet you all. But I'm gonna... And I keep sort of side-eyeing Jokal, who's very tall, and also the horse, who's very tall. Just sort of, I'm gonna thank you again. It was very nice to meet you all. Have a lovely time in...
Wait.
You cut out.
I said, are you okay?
Oh, no, yeah, I'm fine. I'm sure you have things you want to do, and I should go do things too.
You, pardon me, I don't mean to come off as rude, but you seem very young to be traveling alone.
I am practically an adult, and I am fine on my own, and I have been fine on my own for over a long time, and I appreciate your concern, ma'am, but I've got it covered. Thank you.
Wouldn't you like some companionship while you're here visiting for the festival?
I don't know any of you.
We're all best
I don't
friends.
really know any of them.
How can you not know your best friends? That doesn't make any sense.
We just met last night.
And you're already friends. Is that how it works?
I suppose.
I wouldn't know. Can you become friends that fast? I kind of look at 8. Is that a thing you can do?
Would you like to be friends?
I don't know.
Then it's settled. We are now friends. You will travel with us, or we'll just follow you. Either way, we're here for the festival together.
Okay.
You said you were looking for
everyone,
books.
I'm Tate. What are your names?
Ilya.
Hyala.
Jokal.
And who's the horse?
Jokal will pat Maeve's the side of her neck and be like, "This is Maeve."
Okay.
That's quite a hat you have there, Tate.
Do you like it? I made it myself. I could make you a hat. And he just suddenly, like, brightens up. Like, nervousness gone at the mention of his hat. I could make you a hat. Do you like hats?
I
Or-
don't know.
Or maybe, you have such pretty hair. I've never seen pink hair before. That's beautiful. Maybe. We need to find someone who sells wool. Yes. I'm gonna start
Wool.
looking around for someone who sells wool. Because I have an idea.
All right. Well, so once you got past the guards, you actually were able to head into the city proper. And the first thing you come across is a vast, expansive marketplace. Like the crowds that you saw, all the people that are in this space, it does not feel as much of a cluster as it did out while you were standing in line. There are cobblestone streets, and to your left and to your right, you can see the whitewashed stone wall that I mentioned. And then out about, you see vendor stalls and you see people milling about, and they're conversing and they're trading, and there are guards everywhere pointing people where to go. You notice that to the right, there is a staircase that leads up into an area of the city that you can't see from this point. And then there's also on the left another stairway that leads up to the district that is farther up ahead. And from this point, you can tell maybe it's residential. So there, considering as it is a marketplace, you have plenty of vendors to talk to. And you can smell food that has just started cooking. There's fried foods and breads and pastries and other delicacies that you can just smell wafting through the wind. So let's see. You want somebody who sells wool. You can see there are some doors almost built into the wall underneath the stairwells on both sides. Every door has a sign over it with an image on it that indicates what the shopkeeper is. And you're kind of under the assumption that those are the permanent residents that live here, whereas many of the stalls may potentially be just people here for the festival. Towards the right, you'll see a sign that shows a sheep.
Sheep make wool, so let's go to that one. Yes, I'm gonna go to that one. I have the attention span of nothing, so wool.
Sure.
I look to the others.
I've already gone.
He is determined.
I guess we're going to purchase some wool.
Cole, you look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, I want to keep my eyes open for a map. Cartographer. Mm-hmm. While we're walking around.
As you get closer to the sign the door where the sheep sign is, you start to see the curvature of the city and the wall, and as more shops come into view beyond the bodies of the crowd, and you do see a sign 3 or 4 down from the wool makers that does have a map and scroll on it.
Then I will tap Jokel's shoulder, and I will say, I'll be just a moment. I'm gonna go see if I can.
Jokel will nod and just kind of like step to the side of the road so he can keep an eye on both groups of people, like keeping an eye on 8 and Tate, and then keeping an eye on Riala as she buys.
And I head to the sign with the map on it.
All right.
Jokel's also kind of keeping an eye on how people are reacting to 8, because 8's not really hidden, but he's still strange metal man that he's never seen before. Are the guards or civilians regarding him any different, or is he just
Every
a
once in a
normal
while, you'll
average Joe?
find one person that might take a double glance, like, all right. But nobody really pays too much mind. It seems that whatever 8 may be is more commonplace than it would have been where you're from.
Jokel mentally makes that note and just, okay.
Let's start with the wool shop, considering it's closer. So, Tate, you arrive, and when you get to the cutout under the sign, you notice that there is an actual wooden door in the recesses of the wall.
Open it. Go on in.
When you pop in to the door, you hear a little ting-a-ling-ling-ling bell that is struck when you open the door, and you see a large-ish woman sitting on a very small stool in front of a desk, and she's currently actually working some thread through a loom, and she pauses in her work and says, "Oh, well, welcome to Celine. Welcome to my shop. What can I get for you today?"
Hello. I need wool to make into yarn for preferably something softer. So maybe not like a sheep, but like something sort of a softer texture to it, a bit finer. If you have it.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. Give me a second here. She stands up and walks over to the back wall where you see little recesses cut into the stone, almost kind of like a oh darn it, what's the name of that word where they keep scrolls? That
Scroll.
yeah. Anyway,
Scriptorium.
thank you.
The scroll room.
Yeah.
What, just like a bunch of
So-
cubbies?
Yes, a bunch of cubbies. Each one has a big stack of fresh wool that's been spun on a spindle, and she reaches up and she plucks one, and she brings it over to you, and she hands it for you to inspect.
Is it soft?
Oh, it is soft as down.
How's it dye? Does it take color well?
Well, do you see that loom right there?
Uh-huh.
I'm using that. And you look at the loom, and it is this very vibrant red circle, and alternating within that red circle are blues and greens and golds, and all the colors are just screaming at you as if they're ready to jump off the loom.
That's perfect. I need to make something colorful for a colorful person I just met. I'll take it. I need. I'm very smart, so I probably would know what number I would need for yardage to make something. Anders, the player, is not very smart, so
Anders is very smart.
I need like, I'm just gonna make a guess. It's probably wrong. Like 10 feet of it.
You need to. Okay, well, all right. So she goes back to her
Or
cubby and she
enough
goes
to
down.
make 10 feet of yarn. I mean, when she put it through the skein.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right. Yes. So she starts pulling a couple more off the shelf, and she comes and would you like a basket?
Sure.
It's only an extra copper.
Yes.
All right. So she grabs a basket, throws them in there, grabs the one out of your hand, throws it in there, puts it down on the table, and turns to you and says, "All right, that'll be 1, 2, 3, and carry the 2 and 5 gold."
Okay. 5 gold.
All right. Thank you very much, my dear. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No. No, I'm good. Did anyone come in with me?
I did.
I've been staring at all of the wool, like looking at the cubbies, like closely inspecting.
Oh, I look down at what I've got, and then I look at Ilya, and then I look at 8. Can you double my order, please?
She gets this very big smile. Of course. I do have to run to the back room, though.
That's fine.
As
Here.
you can see, my shelf is a little empty. I'll be right back. And
Give
she
me 5
goes
more gold.
into a well, thank you. Takes that and she goes and runs into the back room and is back very shortly with another basket, with another set of skeins, and she hands it over to you and she goes, I'm going to give you that basket for free.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Are you here for the festival?
Yes.
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 Oh, yes.
Yes.
Have you ever been to a
I've never been
No.
to any
Oh,
festival before.
Oh, then I am so excited that our Festival of Aram is going to be our first one. People come from miles around to come and see our festival. So how much do you know about it?
Do I know about
Nothing.
Aram?
Nothing. I don't know anything.
Only that it's happening.
I've studied history. Do I know who Aram is? I know nothing about the festival. I know that, but
Well, actually, Tate, you would know a little bit. Why don't you?
okay. That's a nat 1, but it's an 8
Mm-hmm.
because I have studied
Smart.
history a lot.
Um, I think insight is what I was going for.
Oh,
You
okay,
spent
so
that
it's
week
lower
with
than
Darren.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's lower than that, Jen. Sorry. Do you want me to roll it again, or do you want me to just tell you what my insight modifier is? Because it would be much. Yeah, no, it's a 2. That'd be
Okay.
a 2 because my insight is real bad.
Then never mind. None of you know nothing. You know nothing.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, so the Festival of Aram is really what people in the southern part of the continent call their summer solstice. It's not like we're really celebrating the gods or anything. Oh, no. So the Festival of Aram will start this evening. We'll send some lanterns into the sky, and people will dance, and there will be food and music for a few hours, and then we'll all go to bed. Because once dawn comes, the true festival starts, and it'll be an all-day affair of food and wine and mead and ale and music and dancing and just all sorts of celebration. It can actually really get exciting.
Did you say dancing?
I did.
Okay. I like dancing.
You said there is food?
Oh, yes. People come from all over just to show off their craft.
Sounds like a
Interesting.
lovely affair.
Do you cook 8?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Perhaps I could
You're
learn a
very
new
good.
recipe.
Do you, maybe this is not the most, correct question, but how do you taste what you cook? Is that okay for me to ask? I don't want to. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked anything. I'm sorry.
Uh, my eyes get a little dimmer at the question. Unfortunately, no. I cannot taste what I cook. I can consume it, but I cannot taste.
Really sad.
That is why I cook for others. They can taste on my behalf.
That's not so bad. I guess. If you have other
And I
people
can
who
attest to
explore.
it's very good.
Thank you. I turn to the lady. Do you keep the sheep in the back?
Oh, no, dear. We have a farm outside the city. My husband runs it. I make the wool and then
I see. We appreciate your craft.
Well, thank you, my dear. Now, you've gotten your room assignments, yes?
No, we
No.
have yet to visit an inn or a tavern.
Oh, oh my. Well, that's a bit of a problem if the guards are slipping already. Um, all right. What I would do is I would find one of the guards. So the way this is supposed to work is you give your information at the door. The guards keep track of which taverns currently have rooms available. They will tell you which tavern to go to. When that is full, they will tell the next visitor, so on and so forth. Which tavern is currently available, so you can get a room. Otherwise, it won't be pretty.
Was the guard who let us in supposed to do that?
Yes, I'm actually a little shocked. It's been a while since they've slipped and made a mistake like this, but at least it's something easily rectified.
Excellent. We can go back and speak with them.
Sure.
Thank you for that.
You are most welcome. Enjoy your stay. She goes and
Thank
sits
you.
back at her loom and gets back to work.
Quick question, DM. Is this just like raw wool, or is it on like a skein? Correct.
It's on a skein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are welcome. While this is going on, I think Riala and I believe Jokul went to the cartographer a few doors down.
Jokel's not quite in the cartographer, but he's hovering nearby.
Okay, but
Yeah.
all right. You walk through the door and you also hear a ding a ding 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 tiny little bell. And out from a back room comes an older gentleman. He's wearing a very nice white dress shirt and a dyed wool vest. His pants are wool and he's got nice riding boots polished to a high sheen. His goatee is salt and pepper and comes to a very nice sharp point, and his hair, also salt and pepper, is slicked back and close cropped to his head. And he comes out and says, "Ah, welcome. What can I do for you today, my lady?"
Thank you. I was actually looking for a of the area, not just the country.
So, well, how big are you? Do you want the world map? Do you want the continent? Do you want this region?
World map and one of the continent.
All right. Here. And he goes out, not exactly to where he came from, but he reaches down below the counter that you see, and he starts shuffling through a container of some sort. You can't see from your vantage point, and he pulls out two scrolls. He lays the first one out on the countertop, and he places a black stone on each corner so that it'll stay open, and you can see a map of what you would presume is the world, and at the very top it says Rejiev. And he points to you and he says, this is the map of our world, Rejiev, which I'm sure you would have learned in school. And I can do it in this size, or, and he takes off the stones, rolls the scroll back up, pulls out the other one, and he rolls that one up and again lays out the stones, and he says, or I can do it in this size. And this one is a little larger. It's still a map of the entire world, but it's a little closer almost. You can actually see where mountains are and rivers. No names of the countries, but it's a very much more, it's a little bit more detailed. You can tell where there's forests and country divides.
How much is the more detailed one?
That right there, 10 gold.
Okay. And how much is the other?
That will be 5.
I think for now I'll take the one for 5 gold.
All right. He takes the stones off the map that's currently laid out. He rolls it up, puts it in his trunk, grabs the map he originally showed you. Do you need a cake?
How much extra is it?
Well, that depends. He goes into the back room, comes back, and he has 3 different cases. One has a very dark leather. The one in the center is actually carved out of wood, and then the last one is very simple casing of a very light leather, not much or you have 2, 5, 50 copper.
Take the one for extra.
Take the one for the wet.
2 copper.
2. All right. He hands you the wooden scroll case and says, there you are. And he pops the map into it and closes it, ties the string, hands it over to you.
Thank you. And I'll hand over the thank you so much.
You're most welcome. May I ask you something?
Yes, of course.
I've seen many people come to Celine for the festival, and quite a few have come to my shop. But I've never heard anyone sound like you. Where are you from?
I'm from somewhere very far away. I'm from Tevin. It's a very
Never heard of that one. But I'll keep it in the back of my brain.
but yeah. Thank you again.
You're most welcome.
And I'll turn and walk away.
Right. Go cry in a corner. All right.
Cole will. Riala's fine.
So as you leave the cartographer's shop, you notice that the other 3 have exited the wool makers.
I'll go back to before I do that, I'll take note of where they are, and I also want to look for an apothecary.
From this area in the crowd, you don't see a sign.
Okay. And then random question, just because I'm not sure. What an books on like medicinal plants?
It
Or would that be more
depends
like a bookstore?
on it depends on which city. If the city's larger, they may have some specifically for that area, or they may just have a library. So
Okay.
it honestly will depend on the sub.
Okay. I would just keep my eyes open for that, and I will make my way back to the group.
Okay. As you get back to the group, you hear that they are talking about tavern assignments.
Did I miss something?
Well, apparently we were supposed to be assigned our tavern space when we arrived, but regarding dealing with the lack of last names, I guess, decided to forego our assignments. So we have to figure out where to stay, or else it might be difficult for us to remain in the city this evening.
I wouldn't want to go back and talk to that very rude gentleman.
Perhaps a different guard?
I think that would be best. Looking around, do we see any other guards?
Oh, you see plenty. There are guards, some in their full armor, others in very simple leather armor with a cloth overlay that actually has the symbol of the city, which you saw on the doors as you came in. And all of them, except for maybe one or two, are talking to people. They're pointing them in certain directions. They're showing them things on maps. So it does appear that the city has stocked its marketplace with guards just to show people where they need to go.
Okay. I want to find the most approachable looking one, so not one in full armor. Someone and someone nearby.
Remember, we're the Jones family. Apparently.
I haven't.
Okay, just
You see a few guards nearest to you that are in full armor. You see some that aren't, but they are swarmed by people. And then you see one kind of standing near the wall, looking around and just not doing what he should be doing, but he's watching.
Okay, I'll approach that guy.
Much
He
more
straightens up.
approachable.
Yeah, much more approachable when they look like they don't know what they're supposed to be. He stands up
What's the
immediately
ticket?
when you come close, and he says, "Oh, good evening, ma'am. By the way, he's eye to eye with you, so not a very intimidating guard. He looks very young. Potentially, this is his first big assignment. He's very nervous sounding, and he says, good day. Yes, good day, ma'am. How can I help you?"
It seems that there was a mix-up at the gates. My family and I did not get tavern assignments.
Oh, that's disturbing. Okay. Well, hold on. They do give us these lists. And we update each other on the hour, half hour as the festival draws near. And currently, right now, the tavern is the Wyvern's Tavern.
We just
Oh, that's right. Yes, you are new here. I don't think I'll get in trouble if I just show you the way. So just follow me. And he starts to go back towards the main gate. He passes the guards that you so lovingly met and goes up the stairwell on the left side of the city, and he leads you up And once you get back towards the center, almost so that you could look across the vast marketplace at the main gate, and he leads you through a grand archway. And as you come through the archway, you can see the city open in front of you. There are buildings, short and tall, of whitewashed stone. All of them are square. Many of them are residences. Some you can see are shops. And there are narrow streets that wind in and out throughout the city, all with cobblestone and slate stones packed in with cement and other mortars. And you can go down the stairs, and he leads you down the stairs, and the city meanders a little closer to the ocean before he stops. And he points you to a building just down the way with a sign that has, surprise, a wyvern on it. And he says, that's the one you're going to want to go to. Just tell them you've been assigned here, and they'll worry about updating us with number of rooms they have left. So I'll be going now if you don't need anything else.
Yes, we should be fine. Thank you so much.
All right. And he
Thank you.
does a curt little bow, and he races back to his.
Okay.
He is also determined.
But before we go in and have this conversation in front of the people who run the tavern, how many rooms does our family need?
Look at Tate thinking ahead.
He's smart. That's all he is.
I don't mind sharing, but I think it might be cramped if we were on the same one. Perhaps two?
I think that's fair. 2 rooms should be good.
2 seems wise. I won't need bed space. I can stand in the corner.
Doesn't that get uncomfortable?
Standing? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Shall we?
Sleep?
But I do not. No. I don't sleep.
Really? And this is a really bad time for this conversation. What makes you go?
I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
Well, we go because we put food in our bodies and that creates energy, and we sleep to like rebuild our energy and stuff. But if you don't put food in your body or sleep, then what powers? What's your energy source? Where do you get energy from? It doesn't just exist. It has to come from something.
I kind of look at everyone else that's with us and look back at Tate, and I just say, I do not know.
That's very interesting. Okay. Sorry. We should go inside. Sorry. Distracted. Fine.
Given that they've been assigned this area, and this is a cliffside town as you've described, are there what would be stable areas, or is it like Jokel's just walking around with a horse following him?
The streets are relatively narrow, but they are wide enough to allow horses. The city itself is very old, but they intended that horses could go in and out of the city as part of a means of defense. So they are wide enough for that. Now, nobody can walk by Maeve. So when horses are on the street, it's kind of a one-way deal, but she was able to follow you and nobody questioned.
Okay.
So going to the tavern, I guess?
Yep.
All right. So you get to the tavern, and unfortunately, Maeve can't go into the
Yes.
sorry, I had to make sure that was clear.
Just walk into the tavern with a horse. Just nope. Horse goes here.
Why the long face?
You arrive at the Wyvern's Tail Tavern, and the dark wood tables are packed with people scarfing down bowls of what appears to be a fish stew with large hunks of dark bread. You can easily pick out the locals as they guzzle their tankards of ale or wine or mead, and well, you can mostly tell them apart, one, because they all seem to be wearing the same white linen clothing, and they also are calling the bar patrons and maids by name. You can tell the visitors because they are more likely to be hunkered down and pointing at things that they see in the tavern. You make your way to the bar and you meet an older gentleman, a human, with a balding pate covered by wisps of ash blonde hair. His slightly portly body is pushing against his white shirt and pants as if he's due for an upgrade from his tailor. He wears small spectacles and has an ash blonde mustache that's neatly trimmed just above his lip. He smiles widely as you approach. Ah, new visitors! Welcome to Celine. I am guessing the guards sent you here to get some rooms, right?
Yes, they did.
Ah, wonderful. That'll be 2 silver per room, 3 if you want a room with a large. Meals and drinks are included as it is festival week. So how many would you?
Just 2, I think.
2.
2. All right. And who is going in which room?
And talk about that.
The DM was listening.
Us 2 in one room.
I guess that leaves the other room for the 3 of us.
Wait, who's being pointed at is the question I want to just
Jokel.
throw. Excellent. I will be happy to join the 2 of you in your room.
Sounds great.
Could you have made that any more creepy?
I'm going to love 8 so much. All right. The bartender says, "All right. So 2 rooms. That's 4 copper. For tonight, you can pay each night because and some people tell the guards that they want to stay 5 nights and they end up staying only 2, and the other way. So I always do every night, but in the morning, if you plan on staying, you have to pay me in the morning so that I can reserve your room for the evening because people do tend to show up even the first day of the festival."
Of course.
That's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. My name's Craig. If you need me, you just give me a call, and I'll be right back. I gotta go to get your keys. And he goes and disappears.
I reach into my coin purse and I'll put the copper on the counter. These rooms are on me, best friends.
Thank you, 8.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as you finish up your things, Craig returns, and he has 2 keys in his hand. He hands one to Riala and one to 8. And he scoops the copper up and says, "Now, is there anything I can get you to drink? The festivities don't start for another." And he reaches down, pulls out a pocket watch and says, For another 3 hours.
I think I'm okay for right now.
I hand the key
Thank you for
to
your hospitality.
Ilya. The key to our room. You seem
Perfect.
responsible.
Are you afraid you'll lose it?
No, I would just prefer to give it to you.
Of course.
So nobody wants anything to drink, nothing to eat.
No, 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 sir. Thank
All right,
you.
all right. Well, if you need anything, you know my name. And with that, he goes down the bar and goes and starts talking to some other patrons.
Does it what's the smell in here? Does it like smell like alcohol, or is it just like nice and herby and relaxing?
Due to the number of people that are currently in this bar, you do smell quite a mix of ale and wine. However, it's also mixed with a very hearty fish stew and warm bread. So it is a very homey smell. It definitely smells like a seaside tavern. Um, whether or not that smells good to you is not something I can say.
Hey, 8. If you can't taste things, can you smell things?
No, I cannot smell either.
Well, it stinks in here. So just remember that fish and ale stink.
I have heard tell that fish stink.
Yeah.
But it's very good for you.
I think that actually might be a perfect note to end it for the evening. So I would like to thank everybody who dealt with us in our technical difficulties at the beginning of the run. I want to thank you for our creepy adventures and the weird start that they are off to. And from me and the Joneses, I would like to hope and ask that you come back to watch us next session. As a very good friend of mine once said, if you liked us, tell your friends. And if you don't, be nice. All right. So thank you guys. Blue Pier is going to run our ending credits. So see you next time. Bye.